the second time in 2 weeks, literally almost the same day, they predicted a ton of snow, and it didn't. It snowed a little bit, but not as much as they thought it was going to. It is supposed to snow later tonight, and I kind of hope it holds off because I'm supposed to go to Christiansburg tomorrow to see my buddy Nate. If it gets too bad, I probably won't go. Not necessarily because I don't really mind driving in the snow, but when you're talking about driving an hour and a half-ish away, I don't really like to do that. So hopefully it'll stay clear. But anyway, gotta go to work as per usual. See you guys in like 9 hours. Holy crap, it's freezing. Gotta stop at Walmart. Cats are out of some stuff. I'm gonna see if they have those Turtles figures. And I gotta get a couple of other things too, not just those Turtles figures, for example. Toothpaste. Doesn't look like they're gonna restock that. Doesn't look like they're gonna restock any Turtles toys though. Alright, not gonna fully count that as a failure. I did get some stuff that I needed, some cat litter, some shampoo, some toothpaste, and some other stuff. But I was hoping to pick up those Turtles, just because I feel like they're going to be collectors and they're going to be hard to find. But couldn't really find anything. I looked at the games, didn't really see anything. So I guess I'm going to return to the land in which I hate so dearly, and that's GameStop, just to see if there's any like $15 or $20 game I can pick up to play over the weekend while it's cold. I haven't played games in a long time, and I'm kind of I have that itching to play, mainly I guess from where I went to Evans and played some Street Fighter. Just I want to play something. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, just something little, even if it is Street Fighter, just something, I don't know, I really want to play a game. Nothing really caught my eye. I don't know what's going on with video games right now, but like I have the urge to play, but I can't seem to find anything worth playing. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go home and I'll get on the PlayStation Store, and I'm sure there's some sort of digital game. A lot of the digital games they make now are pretty good. And even if I decide to get another game, I'll just buy it digitally. I don't know, like nothing in there caught my eye at all. Like, they had Street Fighter, but I mean, it was $30, and I don't feel like spending that. I don't know, like I want some sort of platformer, so I don't really know. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna have to look at the store. Hopefully I can find something, because I'm really wanting to play games right now, but it's just, I feel like everything in the gaming community is the exact same. Like with PS2, they took a lot of risks. With PS3 and Xbox 360, they took less risks, and I feel like now they're taking even less risks. Like, everything's a sequel, or it's the same exact game as another game, just with a different skin on it. Like, I feel like there's none of those games that really make you say, man, they took a risk on this and it worked incredibly. Alright, I am home hanging out, listening to some of the Macho Man Randy Savage's rap album, because why not? Turn on his mobile. This baby's hanging out in here. And I'm getting ready to eat some spaghetti that Tracy made.
It's lasagna.
Lasagna, I mean, she's already ate hers because she thinks about herself before others. Totally kidding.
The first food.
Oh, you hear that? Macho Man, how awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to eat this, hang out. My buddy Justin's coming up. The Bucks are on TV tonight. How crazy is that? The Bucks are never on TV, so it's going to be awesome to watch that and see what else we get into. Alright, so I've been saving the story for a long time. I've been saving it for an occasion when I didn't have a whole lot of stuff to film, and I've been wanting to say, because I've never talked about it on this channel. I have talked about it. I've done Q&As about my time at GameStop, but I don't think, now I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever discussed on this channel why I quit GameStop and what made me just hate that company with every ounce of fiber in my body. So, I quit GameStop 4 years ago. In the last year that I was there, basically here's what happened. I got moved to the mall location, and the mall's like 10 minutes from the strip store that I worked at, and I was informed by my district manager that I was going to be the manager up there. So I said, alright, cool, like that'll be a good shot for me. Like, they keep telling me, like, hey, you know, maybe one day you'll get a store and stuff like that. And cool, this would be my opportunity. So, of course, I get up there, and I just stayed assistant manager. They let another person be the store manager, and I thought, okay, So I sent my district manager a message, and I was like, hey man, I thought I was coming up as a manager, like as the manager, but I'm just the assistant, and I think it's kind of, I mean, it kind of sucks to like have to move stores and stay the same position. I literally moved sideways. I didn't move forward. And he sent me a message back, and he was like, I think it's real unprofessional that you would message me and yada yada yada. I said, okay. But yeah, after talking to him and hearing him say it was unprofessional for me to ask about the future of my career, essentially, and I didn't do it in a hateful way, but like I was just like, yo, this sucks, man. Like I thought I was moving as a manager, and I'm not. Like, you know, what's going on? What can we do to fix that and stuff? And he said I was unprofessional. I was like, all right, something's got to give. Well, that girl ended up leaving, and I was like, all right, this is my opportunity. She left, and like the next day they had a dude, and it's actually a dude that I really, really like. His name was Jeff. He's a super, super nice dude. I still talk to him to this day, actually, so I have nothing against Jeff. Jeff was a car salesman, and they brought him in to be a store manager. Now, here's the thing. When I asked them why, they said it's because I lack the training that I needed in order to become a store manager. And I said, okay, whatever. So we need to get this training done, right? Well, when Jeff came in, me, the guy who has no experience running a store and the guy who needs training on how to run a store, I had to train Jeff how to run the store. I've said it a million times, the quickest way to get into management at GameStop is go work at McDonald's for 2 years and then apply for management. They do not like to move up within the company, at least in my district. So Jeff came in, and of course he's super happy on everything, and oh, it's GameStop, and this is the greatest stuff ever. Well, after a few months, it started to sour, and he realized the type of company that he worked for. He left GameStop and went back to car selling because of the nonsensical pressure they put on management there. So after Jeff left, my district manager came in. He's like, well, we're going to hold... Here, this is literally what he told me. He said, we're going to have job interviews to find you an assistant. I was like, cool. So they put me on temporary management, where I basically was on salary. As a matter of fact, my first day on salary, I had to work a Madden release, and I was there at 8 o'clock that morning, and I had to stay until almost 2 o'clock the next morning because I had to work the midnight sale. So they took advantage of me during that period, and it's probably my own fault for not seeing past that. But anyway, he told me they were going to have open interviews to try to find me an assistant. I was like, all right, cool. So like they, of course, and I should have known something was up because I said, do you want me to help with the interviews? And they're like, no, we've got a couple of other managers coming in to help with that process. So, okay. So then one day I go into work, and the dude comes in, and I'm like, who are you? And he's like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm the new manager. I said, you were here helping me interview. He said, yeah, I had to come down because I had to find somebody to help me run the store, essentially. So that was the third time, actually that was the fourth time, I didn't even talk about the first time, but that was the third time I had been passed up for management, and me and this guy didn't see eye to eye. And he may watch this at this point. I'm still friends with him on Facebook and stuff, and I think me and him could have got along a little bit better had we not met under the circumstances in which we did, but we clashed a lot. I don't know. I don't know if it was a mutual thing, but like it just seemed like he didn't like me, and I didn't like him because of that. It was just a really, really bad situation. And he did a lot of stuff to make me really, really upset. And I've made posts about this on my personal Facebook, and I know that it upsets him and stuff. But you know, I don't hold anything against him. I think we met under bad circumstances where he took what I thought was mine, and obviously, if somebody gives it to you, you're gonna take it. And then after he got the job, my district manager was like, well, hey, we're going to maybe try to move you to Beckley. And I was like, is this as a store manager? And he said, no, as an assistant. And I said, why in God's name would I drive 45 minutes a day to be in the same position that I'm in now? I said, would I get a pay raise? And he said, well, I don't think so. And I said, well, I have to have something to offset the cost of gas. My regional manager came in and talked to me a little bit, and I said, here's the thing, Steve. I said, I keep hearing this tell that I need this training, and I never get it, and they're always like, you need this training, and I keep asking, and nothing happens. And Steve, he tiptoed around the tulip, so to speak. They never could give me a flat answer, and I don't know what the issue was, but I would much rather somebody be like, look, dude, we have no interest in you running a store, than to string me along for a long time. I hated it. I hated every single minute of it. And then ultimately, all that stuff was piling on me, and I was already kind of starting to look for jobs because I was like, all right, man, they're screwing me around here. But the final straw, and again, Christian, if you're watching this, man, I don't mean anything negative by it, of course, but which I doubt he'll see this. But my sister's house burned down. My sister Brittany, her house burned down. It caught fire where they weren't there, and they lost everything. And I called him and I said, hey, man, I can't come into work tomorrow. My sister's house burned down, and I'm gonna go help her go through the ruins and stuff. Now, instead of him saying, thanks for the heads up, dude, we're gonna get you covered, you go take care of your family, this guy said, as long as you can find somebody to cover your shift. And at that point I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I drove my keys to the store, and I didn't quit at that point, but I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. So I got strung along a lot, and I think, if you work at GameStop, maybe in a different district, maybe it's not the same way, but you talk to anybody who is, I won't say my district manager's name or anything, but if you work in if you talk to anybody in my district who worked under my specific district manager, man, it was the most miserable thing ever. This guy, I don't know, he was out for himself, and he made a lot of kind of lewd comments to the women managers, and he was like a very, let me take you out to dinner. He was a very kind of sleazy kind of guy, and I'm sure he may see this at some point. Somebody will be like, hey, blah, 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 Magic's talking about you, but I don't care, man. I didn't see eye to eye with this guy, and he treated me like crap a lot of times. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you have any questions down below, let me know, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. But the last year at GameStop was the most miserable thing. And look, I get it. It's a corporation, and nobody said a corporation has to treat you like anything, and you're not owed anything, and I get that. And I definitely don't feed into the entitlement generation where I think, this, that, or the other. But my problem, because the thing is, if they would have told me straight up, you're not good enough to run a store, I would have said, all right, cool. I would have known to look for another job, whatever. But they kept stringing me along, and it's like they kept dangling. It's almost like the wrestling industry. They hold these, there's this glass ceiling, but you can't bust through it. So I don't know. That's my story about my hatred of GameStop. It's because of the way, and anybody that knows me personally knows some of the stuff that I went through. My buddy Gabe was at GameStop for a long time. He quit and moved to Florida. Literally everybody I know that has ever worked at GameStop has quit, and some of them have quit for professions that people would consider worse than GameStop because of the load that they put on you and the way that they treat you. I mean, there's not a lot of people I know that got to move up in GameStop, except for one, my buddy Nate. He did get to move up. But other than that, they do not like to do that. And after a while, it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I had to get out. The other thing that was sleazy about my district is there was what was called a list. The district manager would have this couple of favorite managers that they would talk to, and they would have a list basically of who they would love to fire next, man. It was just, it was like the Wild West, man. It was literally, you never knew one day if you were going to go in and have a job or not. I mean, they just, it was miserable. I hope, I'm sure some of you guys are going to think I'm complaining and blah, 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 and whatever, and I don't really care, but it's just, man, if maybe you had to be there to fully witness how bad it was, but man, I will never be angry at the time I spent at GameStop because of the people that I've met. Some of my best friends I met through GameStop. People I talk to literally on a daily basis. Like I said, my buddy Gabe I talk to every single day, and we met at GameStop because I worked with him. My buddy Nate I talk to every single day, GameStop, blah, blah, blah. And I've made some really, really, really good friends. I've got a lot of good opportunities, but man, they treat employees like absolute garbage. So anyway, guys, that's my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know down below. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. I hope some of that made sense. I've been rambling for a long time, so I'm going to try to condense that the best that I can to get the point across. When I start talking, just like now, I just start talking, and it doesn't stop. So thank you guys for watching. This episode is probably a little bit weird, but again, I didn't have a lot to film, and I've been saving the story for a day when I didn't have a lot going on, but I thought you guys might enjoy it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to end the video here because it's getting close to midnight, and I want to go make sure the baby's okay. He is asleep, but He has been sleeping better, but I just like to get in bed. That way, when he wakes up, I can get up and help Tracy with all that stuff. So thank you guys for watching. But tomorrow, hopefully everything will go awesome. It is supposed to snow like crazy, so I don't know if I'm going to Christiansburg. But if not, I'm going to do my best to make the most entertaining vlog that I can for you guys. Thank you guys for your continued support. It means the world. I'm glad that you enjoy watching these. Like I said, it truly means a lot. So thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.